Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking into buying a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-8888-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, and Mike the Mariner rounding out the crew today as we attempt to navigate the latest boating news and information and celebrate the World of Boating radio show's 22nd year on the air. I kid you not. And,
22.
22, ready for you.
Oh, man.
Right.
That's all right.
Yeah. Even Taylor Swift wrote a song about being 22. And so we'll take credit for that as well.
Has she written one about World of Boating yet?
Oh yeah, of course. That's what the whole song was about, I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah.
But and we obviously didn't play it because sucks. Anyway,
we need to get the lyrics.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I want to hear those lyrics.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, believe it or not, April Fool's Day is the World of Boating's anniversary day. And we started
You're
in
kidding.
2004. We did not plan this, this way, but that's the way it happened years ago in 2004 when we started the first World of Boating broadcast. It coincides with Scuba Radio's anniversary. Same thing.
Right.
And we started World of Boating. Let's see, we started Scuba Radio in 97, and we started World of Boating 2004. On the anniversary date of Scuba Radio, and we've been here ever since.
Now, did you pick the anniversary date for Scuba Radio on purpose and then just roll
World
of Boating into it?
It literally just happened. It was totally organic. And, I remember the first year anniversary came around. I was like, golly, it's April Fool's Day. How appropriate.
We're going to start a new show. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, no, seriously, we are.
Right. And a lot of people didn't believe it. And every anniversary, I have to put it out there on social media. I was like, hey, look, we're 22 years old today. No fooling. This is an April Fool's gag.
Some people probably still don't believe it.
Well, true. I don't. I can't believe we've been doing it this long. It's nuts. I mean, look at us. I mean, I look like a day over 25. Right?
Exactly.
If you can see us
neither one of us.
on Facebook Live and Twitch and YouTube, and it's those video filters.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're much older than we look online. Anywho, it's why we're a radio show. That kind of reaffirms that part of it. But
Faces made for radio.
Exactly. So we got a lot of stories to cover today, but being that it's our anniversary, we're kind of in a celebratory mood, not just the fact that Barry the Boater's not here. I mean, that's worth celebrating right there. I can only do that because he's not with us today.
I miss his hat, though. He's got that red hat he always wears.
That's true. And
or the pirate hat.
Who knows what he's doing? Probably, he's probably out there celebrating. He's like, oh my gosh, we're 22. And I don't have time for you, so let Mike and Greg, hold down the fort for a week. So we'll do that.
Sure. Yeah.
But it is April Fool's week, not just our anniversary, but people pull pranks around this time of year, and you'll see stuff online from different boating companies. It's always fun to kind of take a little, gander to see who's put out some nonsense, and it never fails.
Yeah.
We're not even going to go there today, but I did get one story that came across our desk literally yesterday. And the first thing I did, I double checked because Mike sent it to me and I was like, okay, this looks like a April Fool's gag. Let's not be taken. But it involves a sea monster on the St. Johns River in Florida that's been cited or been alluded to for over 35 years. And I've heard about this mythical creature over the years, but I didn't really, know much about it. But, when I saw the story pop up again yesterday, I was like, it's another April Fool's joke. And it was an article in the Orlando Sentinel, the local paper here in Orlando. Is that right, Mike?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And of course, anything that's published in that obviously is the God spoken truth. And I mean that dripping with sarcasm.
Right, and the latest article on it was actually from a local news channel,
Yeah.
Channel 6 here in Orlando. But
Right.
yeah, I've heard about this. Well, I probably heard about it, 30 years ago.
Hmm.
Uh, there were reports that I guess began around 1953, which was probably about the time they were trying to figure out how to get more tourists here in Central Florida.
Right.
And it's interesting that the stretch of river that they talk about is the stretch of river that I've spent my entire life on, basically from the Geneva area all the way up through Astor and Lake George, and I've obviously been the full length of the river, but that's
Right.
the part of the river where I've spent most of my life.
And it's
And
like maybe they're jumping on the whole Loch Ness bandwagon. They figured it worked
yeah,
well for that part of the world. Let's put it out here in Central Florida and draw people in. And I don't know. I haven't heard a whole lot about it, but I saw the story and I was like, all right,
right.
well, let's dig a little deeper into this and find out if we're cruising down the St. John River, is there some mythical 35-foot long creature that we
Exactly.
need to befriend or avoid? I don't
Well,
know.
I'll say this: if there is, someone needs to hire a marketing person to kind of wrap the messaging around. Because I was in Scotland last year, and we actually did a cruise on Loch Ness, and they've got Loch Ness
Everything.
memorabilia everywhere. I mean,
Right.
restaurants and gift shops, and I
Hmm.
mean,
It's a
Nessie is
big
a
deal.
legend.
Right.
And this mythical creature that is right here in Central Florida doesn't get that kind of fanfare. So we
No.
probably need to change that
Well, I
because
mean, yeah, why do they even have a name for it? Or just call it a 35-foot long, lizard creature type thing or something?
they just call it the St. John's River Monster. And
Yeah, it's
the the
lame.
the uh, the original guy that started talking about this was a guy named Buck Dillard.
Hmm.
And he was a longtime Astor resident. If you know where Astor is, if you know anything about the St. Johns River, Astor is right at the base, at the southern shore of the of Lake George,
Okay.
which is basically the last tidal basin before you get to the wider part of the river that goes up towards Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
And just a kind of a stretch of the river that doesn't have a lot of development on it. Astor is one little town there, but between there and all the way to DeLand, it's
No, wait. Well, you're
there's
saying
almost nothing.
in the backwoods of Florida, somebody
Hmm.
has claimed to see a river monster, and that just sounds like
Yeah,
a far stretch, doesn't it?
that never
What are
happens,
the
right?
odds?
Well, there was probably some moonshine involved,
Ah.
if I'm guessing, because
Hmm.
this is an area that at times has been known, you know, for that product to be
Right.
prevalent.
But,
But
they're saying 35 feet long for this river monster looking thing. And,
yeah, with
even
a
if,
horn and four legs.
okay, there's a horn on it too. I
Yes.
didn't see that
Yeah.
part. Okay. But,
Yeah, they describe it as gray with a horn, has four legs, and they've seen it in the water and on land.
oh, interesting. Okay. So
So
first off, we got to come up with a better name than the St. John's River Monster or whatever the hell they just refer to it. Give it a little bit more of a personality because, whether it's true or not, doesn't matter. We don't want to let the truth get in the way of a good story. And,
yeah,
this might be something we can help facilitate and get people all worked up over. And next thing you know, we got a new attraction,
well,
you
let's
know?
come up with a name because if you think about it, there's three major lakes that it has been sighted on. That's Monroe,
Yeah.
Dexter, and George. So why don't we call it Dexter? That's the lake that's right in the middle.
Okay. All
We'll
right.
call it Dexter.
Dexter. Why not?
So
Yeah.
we've named him. The St.
And
Johns River Monster is now named Dexter.
all right. And, you can make the parallel comparisons to that Dexter TV show, the serial killer that was,
Mhm.
a blood spatter expert or something. And maybe this guy or this creature. I mean, is he? We got to get a backstory for him. Is he a nice creature or is he a bad creature or what do you
Well,
think?
there have been no reports of him snatching humans and
That we
having humans
know
disappear.
of. That we know of. Because if he ate them, I mean, how would you know? They wouldn't be able to tell their story, would they? Oh. So, all right, Dexter, you have your mission if you choose to accept it, and we'll help, facilitate this urban legend as much as possible on the world of boating.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
explorer in the other two-thirds of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Yoo-hoo, Mr. Pirate!
What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor at night in the morning?
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, and Mike the Mariner rounding out the crew as we navigate the latest boating news and information as we launch into our 23rd year of the World of Boating radio show. I kid you not, no fooling. April Fool's Day is our anniversary, and we're celebrating accordingly by covering some stories that you may think are kind of foolish, but who knows? Maybe there's an element of truth to them. I mean, well, you know, even though our anniversary is April Fool's Day, I'm not kidding. There's no fooling. We really have been doing this for 22 years, as insane as that sounds on so many different levels. So, you know, does Central Florida have its own Loch Ness monster? You know, they call it just an ugly monster. I'm on board with this plan Mike came up with calling it Dexter. Let's give it a little personality. And
I'm going to have shirts and hats made, and we're going to go hunting for Dexter.
Yes, and you can you know, start looking online for videos and stuff. Has anyone got a photo of this thing, or has it all been stories and urban legend kind of stuff?
All I see, I see drawings. Nobody has a photograph that I've seen, but they've got some drawings of a serpent that has a horn and very large teeth and legs, and you know, it's I haven't seen him yet, but you know, I'm going to keep my head on a swivel.
Yeah, keep your head. I mean, you know, it's Orlando area, so the first thing, you know, I would think, like, is it going to be friend or foe? You know, I'm thinking like Pete's Dragon from Disney World or something, but. Yeah, the thing probably could eat you or spear you with its horn. So I'm guessing you wouldn't want to encounter it on the St. Johns River if you could avoid it.
No.
But
I mean,
it'd be cool if you did. I mean, but the reason there's no photos or videos of this thing is probably every time it is seen, it's come to eat a boater, you know, snatch them right off the deck, just like, you know, like an anaconda film or something like that, right?
Well, that, and it's probably good at hiding. It probably coordinates with Sasquatch and Nessie.
There
and
could
they say,
be.
hey, here's how you hide. I think Sasquatch and Nessie are probably coaching Dexter, saying, look, you know, you don't really want to, you know, get a photograph of yourself. You want to keep it on the low here.
Right,
you
keep
know?
it on the down
Don't-
low. There
yeah, don't
could
get
be some
caught.
alien connections. Maybe that's why there's no pictures or video. I mean, you know, there's so much crap we can heap on this nonsense. It never fails. And you know, look, you know, sure, it's around April Fool's, and you might write it off, but it's been going on for years. So this isn't like a April Fool's joke that we're perpetuating. We're just jumping on the bandwagon. Like, okay, let's get to the bottom of this. Let's put the World of Boating crew and passengers in the mode to be on the lookout for Dexter. And if you find it, let us know and give us the
We've got
scoop.
plenty of witnesses. I'm sure on a future show, we could go to Fort Florida, which is a stretch of beach where a lot of boats pull up and enjoy the sun and maybe a few beverages. I'm sure we could go up there on any given day and interview people and get some real live sighting,
Right. Especially
information.
at the closest watering holes. You know?
Yes,
Yeah. Go to the bar. Hey,
Towards the-
you ever see Dexter out on this thing?
Yeah.
And you know, Dexter, who's Dexter? You know, the ugly thing. Oh, yeah. Oh, they're calling it Dexter now. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
No, we named him on the World of Boating.
Yeah.
We are pioneers. We are trailblazers.
right.
You know.
And I don't know. Or we're just bandwagon jumpers. Let's get on this story and educate
I'm
our
gonna
buddy.
come
If
with-
nothing else, it'll be a great conversation starter.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm coming up with a logo and everything.
All right. Perfect.
We're gonna find this guy.
We're going to milk this for all it's worth. That's why. That's how
Yes.
we've gotten through 22 years here at the World of Boating.
It's a new
jump on-
revenue stream.
Yes, about
Put
time
on
we got
merch.
one.
Get some merch.
Right, right.
Right.
Okay, well, let's navigate into some other stuff.
Sure.
Just to kind of just as crazy. Mike found a story where it's always intriguing when you find a manufacturer or someone coming up with a new idea that you just go, hey, that's nuts, but maybe it would work.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, I would check this out. So where was the sauna boat?
So
sighted?
the headline is the sauna culture comes to the Connecticut coast.
Okay.
So
it's a little
somewhere up
nipply
in
up there,
Connecticut.
yeah.
Yeah, a little cooler. The water's colder.
Yeah.
I can't believe a sauna boat would work in Florida because really all you have to do is just be on the boat and you're in the sauna
Right.
in August.
Yeah.
Maybe not this time of year. The weather's beautiful today, and we're doing the show. I'm doing the show from the bridge of my boat, and it's fantastic. But it's interesting. So this gentleman found a 25-foot pontoon boat, and he decided to build a sauna house on it. And he motors this boat into the various coves there along the Connecticut coast and uses the sauna. And then I guess they sit on the front, what they call the front porch. It's the bow of the boat, and it has a couple of chairs. And in between sauna sessions, they jump in the water. So
Well, I mean, that's one of the latest health crazes. I mean, it's really caught on, like at gyms and things like that, where you go into a hot sauna. I mean, it's been around forever, but like in Norway, I mean, it's part of their culture, when you go there, but it's really become like a health thing. Like you go into the sauna and then you immediately jump into a cold pool, and it supposedly, does something to your cells and, turns you into an alien or something. I don't know what the hell it does, but I've seen these stories. So this guy's just, hey, let's take this to the water. We got plenty of cold water out here. We just need the hot part covered. And it sounds like is a nutty idea as it is. Like, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess they use a gas-fired sauna heat source with it has a flue stack, and they use those rocks, the lava rocks.
Right.
So they heat up the lava rocks, and you
Yeah.
pour water on them, and there you go. You've got your sauna.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about the whole idea is like if you saw that, hey, let's do a sauna, and then you go in there and there's a bunch of naked people that you don't want to see naked. You know what I mean? So I wonder what the guidelines are. Like, all right, no naked boaters. We just keep a towel on. Because I don't think I'd be a big fan of that part of it. But I mean, I'm sure you can ask in advance. Hey, who's in there? Anyone I want to see naked?
Well, it's I guess it's also a lot to invest for a boat that can only really be used for one thing, because the entire space is taken up by the sauna and the helm station.
Right.
And so really all you do is you motor your boat somewhere, get in the sauna, jump in the water, and motor your boat back. So it's not like you have a multi-use boat and can go do other stuff with it.
Right. And it's probably so steamy and hot and cloudy where you couldn't see if the person was next to you naked. I don't know.
Yeah,
Those things kind of just make me uncomfortable from that standpoint. But that's probably just me. I mean, I'm guessing Barry would be all over this, Mike. What do you think?
Oh,
Let's throw him under.
guess.
Let's throw him under the boat right now, because he'd be going, "Oh hell yeah."
Yeah. Well, you also have to wonder, what do you do to make sure, if something goes wrong and things catch on fire, and how do you put those things out? I was looking at it, and
yeah, you got to get it the hell out of the sauna and jump in the lake or whatever up there. Maybe, I don't know. More coming up.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Come on, Williams, what are you standing around for here? Get on board.
Get on board. Don't fret. Don't try to worry. Just get on board. I'll take you there.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Mike the Mariner, rounding out the crew as we attempt to navigate the latest boating news and information in our 22nd year. Actually, we're launching into our 23rd year this week. So how about that? 22 years.
That's awesome.
Of doing this goofy little show. And
right.
We're still here perpetuating urban legends about Dexter, the river monster, and floating saunas. So I don't know, you were thinking some of the health issues, or not health issues, but danger issues of putting a sauna on top of a pontoon. And I mean, if it caught fire, you wouldn't know, because them lava rocks are working great.
Well, aside from a pontoon boat with a natural gas tank on it and a burner, and surrounded by a wood structure, I can't think what could go wrong with that.
Right.
But, something might, maybe. But I live in Florida, so putting a sauna on a boat to me is just sounds like a ridiculous idea. But if you're in Connecticut or Maine or someplace like that where things are a lot colder, okay, I could see maybe that as being something cool.
Just take the idea and flip it and do one of those ice bars on a pontoon.
So I was thinking about installing an ice bar on my boat.
Okay, well, see.
But then I just decided to have ice and a glass with a beverage. I figured it's much simpler.
No, you just gotta, get one of those. You take like a, shipping container, and get a pontoon big enough to hold it up out of the water. Install some major air conditioning stuff, and then freeze a bunch of water and then cut out,
Yeah.
seats in there and,
Yeah.
shot things just like they do in those ice bars in
I'd have to
Vegas
double
and
the
New
size
York.
of my engine room to do that, though.
Yeah, I mean, but that would be the, just take the idea and flip it for Florida folk.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to invest in that idea, go for it. Let us know. I'll take our 15%, and then you become, multimillionaires. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the interest of getting people excited about boating, I did just come across a new article on the top 10 boating destinations for trailerable boats.
For trailable, okay. Yeah.
Trailerable boats.
All
Yeah.
right.
So if you have whether it's a cabin or non-cabin, but I thought it was pretty cool, and a waterway near and dear to my heart made the list. So
Okay,
I'm
is this
happy about that.
all across the U.S. or just Florida?
It is. No, it's all across the U.S.
Well, let's
So
run through them. What do you got?
sure, Lake Powell, Arizona, and Utah. So that's right on the border, right?
Right.
That's a great destination for trailerable tugs because there's lots of areas where you can anchor out and spend the night. But if you have a cruiser like a Sundance or anything like that, hey, same thing. It's a great place to go.
Beautiful area.
The
Yeah.
waters are nice and clear. During the summer, it's kind of like being in the Bahamas, but slightly cooler.
Yeah. And they got a lot of ramps and actually, I mean, the waterway there, I mean, if I remember correctly, I went there a few years ago. A lot of the shoreline is pretty flat.
It
So, yeah, you got a lot of options as far as getting in and out of that waterway, if I remember correctly. Right.
Lots of canyons, very photogenic. It's just it's way different than what you would experience on the eastern half of the United States. It's a beautiful lake with crystal clear water in a desert, and that's what's really kind of cool about it.
Right. Right.
The second destination is Roke Island, Maine, near Penobscot Bay, and I haven't been there yet. I'm supposed to go there later this year. My best friend is from that area, and we've been invited to go up there. Great place for those micro tugs, those Nordic tugs, trailerable. Lots of anchorages, little towns scattered all along that area. Islands. It's just a really, really cool place, and I can't
the
wait to
same
go
thing, I
experience
would
that.
assume, is just access too. They have plenty of places where
Right.
you can put in and take out, I would assume. Or what do you think? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, each town has an area, whether it's a ramp or the tides are a little higher up there, so it may not be a ramp. They may have to lift your boat into the water with a fork, a forklift that you see in the marinas,
Yeah.
or a travel lift. But you can definitely get in the water and definitely run around those and visit those towns and get a crab roll and or a lobster roll and just really enjoy some of the great food that you get in Maine.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Sure.
that's two. What else you got?
Yeah, the next one is Chesapeake Bay, and I've been in Chesapeake Bay, and that's a really great place, especially around the Annapolis area. Just really lots of great marinas, lots of great places to stop and get food. The restaurants are fantastic, and it's very picturesque. Very, very great place to. And the fishing is fantastic in Chesapeake.
Yeah. Well, and plus you get the big boat show there every year too. And that is a massive draw.
Yeah,
For
and-
sure.
Yep, and you can you can access the Potomac, go all the way up through DC. Lots of anchorages in those areas too. Really great place.
What else you
The
got?
next one on the list is Hudson River, New York, and that's we all know about the Miracle on the Hudson, right?
Right.
But the Hudson feeds all the way up into the waterways that can take you all the way to Canada. It's part of the Great Loop,
Mhm.
and that water that route. And the next one that made the list, St. John's River.
Of course. The home of
I totally
Dexter.
agree. The home of Dexter, and I totally agree with that. I think it's a very unique waterway. They call it basically a chain of lazy lakes. It's a lazy river. There are no locks. Nothing to control the level of the river.
Right.
It's all a completely natural waterway, and just
And it's pretty
lots-
clear, isn't it? Because the springs and stuff, or does it
No.
depend? It just depends.
No. Although the river itself is because of the tannic acid from the cypress trees.
Oh, okay.
People would think it kind of looks like Coca-Cola when you're going
Yeah.
through it.
Right.
And people equate that with it being dirty, but that's not the case. The river is actually a very
Well,
clean river.
well, in the Hudson, I don't know, but in the St.
The Hudson
John's,
may be different.
yeah,
That may be brown for a different reason.
yes, and you might
uh,
see a floating body come by every. No, I'm kidding, kind
yeah,
of,
that's
but
possible.
yeah,
But the St. Johns River generally is dark colored water, and that's because of the acid from the cypress trees, which is a completely natural process. But yes, when you go up to the Blue Spring Run
right.
or Silver Glen,
You'll get some
any
of
of
that
those
clear spring water, feed it, and around the mouth of the
right?
spring at the river might be a little clearer and stuff too. Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
exactly.
gotcha. Okay, what else
So
you have after that one?
that's it.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
think
those
that
are
that
some
was
pretty
that
good
was
spots. You know, one of the
yeah.
solutions, I actually saw a YouTube video of a, I guess, relatively new boat. I don't know if we can do
Mhm.
this in the States, but they had one of those, kind of like small liveaboard type vessels that has wheels on it, and it can roll right up on on a bank, and they can
Mhm.
camp. And it was a older couple. I think it was in like Norway or someplace, and they have
Right.
all these areas where they can just do that. They can just roll up on a bank area, and I guess there's no rules that they have rights to be able to do that. I don't know if we could do that in the States here like that, but I was like, that was friggin' awesome. I mean, and because it was basically like a trawler, and they lived on it, but they could just cruise around, and then when they found a good spot where they could just roll back up on the thing, they'd roll it back up, and they'd camp for the night, and then they'd roll back into the water and cruise around to their heart's content. Look it up on YouTube; it's there.
That'd be
Floating,
pretty cool.
yeah. Boat car or boat something. You know what I'm talking about. More coming up. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network. You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating,
I do like the water.
the radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Yeah, you were expecting maybe the Easter Bunny?
Here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. That is me, along with Mike the Mariner, navigating the latest boating news and information. Hopefully, you're having a great Easter weekend and making the best of it out on the water. And if you want to cruise around on the water and then just ride your boat back up on a bank, you could do what that couple I was talking about earlier do. They picked up it was a Stabix, Stabix 250 UC amphibious model. It has kind of like a orange rust black color scheme to it. Came out a couple years ago, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. And I think they were, if I remember correctly, the video I was watching, they were in Norway, but they were, they cruise around and get right up next to the waterfalls and the fjords and stuff, and then they would be able to just find a bank that they could navigate the boat up on, and it would just the wheels would come forward and just start grabbing the land and just roll up, and then they'd sleep on land for the evening, and then they'd go back out the next morning and boat around, camp all over the place. I mean,
So I guess the motor, the wheels must be powered by hydraulic motors or something, right?
Yeah. I think I don't remember if it was if they're electric, or I think they might be electric motors.
Yeah.
But I mean, it looks kind of weird out of the water. I mean, it drives like a car, kind of. It's not.
It's a tricycle arrangement, so you'd have to have a very, kind of a gentle slope, kind of like Daytona Beach, kind of a gentle slope coming out of the water.
Well,
you mentioned. You could use it,
like the I was talking about when you mentioned that waterway in Utah. When I went there, a lot of the banks were like that. It was like a gradual slope out to the deeper water. And I was thinking, this kind of boat would be perfect for that if they allowed you to do it. I think we probably have too many restrictions where they wouldn't
Yeah.
let you just take your boat up on the beach like that necessarily. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I mean, in areas where you have the conditions for that, you could use it. You probably could not use that boat effectively on the St. Johns River in that application
No.
because the banks are soft, it's
Right.
muddy, and they're steep in most of the areas. So
correct. So you got to find the
then-
right, the right waterways. But they had the best of all worlds. They could go out,
Yeah.
weeks at a time, and and it takes away the scary part of anchoring overnight. So
Mhm.
they would just find a spot where they could just cruise up on a beach for the evening. They don't got to worry about, hey, I'm gonna be asleep and all of a sudden the alarms are going to go off and stuff. It's basically
with
like camping.
alligators or whatever. Yeah, instead of
Right.
alligators, you're going to be dealing with bears instead.
Yes.
So I mean, yeah.
Well, there's that, I guess. But
There
yeah.
is that other boat that we saw, and I think we covered it when we were at the boat show, either last year or the year before, down in Fort Lauderdale. A similar concept, but it had caterpillars. It had tracks on it.
Right.
like a bulldozer.
Yeah.
And and that's a really cool concept too. So as you approach the beach, you lower the caterpillars into the water,
Mhm.
and that actually works a little better on a steep, soft bank.
Sure.
And that's what that design was for. And really neat concept. Talked to the guy at length. It adds about probably 1,100 pounds or 1,200 pounds to the overall boat design.
Right.
But so there's some trade-offs there. But how cool is it to be flexible enough to, hey, you know what, pull your boat up and go right up on the beach and pull it up into the yard or
Right.
whatever. If you happen to live on a lake or a river, you can just pull the boat right up to your house.
Yeah.
And not worry about the ramp or anything.
Right. You don't need
Yeah,
a dock, the whole thing and stuff. But yeah, there's a few videos of that Stabix. I don't know if that's the
Yeah.
way you say it, but it's
Yeah.
it looks goofy out of the water. I ain't gonna lie, because his big tires on it are kind of silly looking. But I mean, they
Yeah.
showed it cruising around the water just like any other, relatively small liveaboard. And I don't think it's huge either. I would say it's
Mhm.
maybe 30 feet long. I don't know.
Yeah.
Thereabouts.
25.
Okay. Yeah.
It's 25. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a 25 footer.
But
Hey,
they were living
did
on
you
it,
hear?
having a good time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's they do the Sea Dories. The Sea Dories are in that same size range, and the Sea Dory Club was just recently here at my marina and at Pontoon. There were like 30 Sea Dory boats, and they're about that size. They're about 25 feet.
Hmm.
Have a little cabin, little galley, and a head, and a single outboard motor. And I mean, there are people taking Sea Dories on the entire Great Loop. I mean,
Right.
these are expeditionary boats. I've seen some up in Alaska, because they have a protected helm station and all that stuff. So, I mean, really cool. You can do a lot of stuff with a boat that's not very large. You don't have to go out and get a great big boat to enjoy overnight camping and overnight anchorages.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
that's the beauty of it.
yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of a little bit like off-roading with a boat in a way with this
Yeah.
contraption too. But yeah, they
Yeah.
had to be, they talked about a little bit in the video about how they had to be efficient in their storage,
Mhm.
but you got to do that with any boat, especially if
Yeah.
you want to stay on it and kind of live off of it for, week at a time or take
Right.
a run. But yeah, you got a lot of flexibility there. I was really intrigued by it.
Yeah.
But from when it's out of the water, I mean, I know, I'm sure it's not street legal, but I mean, they did show it
No, they
driving
don't.
up out of the water, and they could drive it down you could drive it down a small street. It wouldn't go very fast, but it wouldn't be like you could take it down on a road or something. But I don't
Right.
even think, I'm not sure that this thing is even available stateside here. I don't
Yeah.
know if we have the right things. Maybe. I don't know. That was a
I'm
couple
sure you
years
could
ago.
find some. I'm sure you could find a way to import one.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure they'll sell it to you if you
Yeah.
want one.
Yeah.
They'll find a way. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I did think it was pretty intriguing. Kind of eliminating a lot of the problems with that kind of thing. If you can't find a
Mhm.
a place to enter, get in the water, or you don't have a dock, or you don't want to, keep running it back and forth. with a trailer. I mean, it takes that out of the mix, really. You know, especially like you said, if you live on a lake or live on a waterway, it seemed to have the best of both worlds. So
Yeah, it just makes it easy to manage the boat and get it out of the water and park it and put a cover on it and off you go.
Right.
You know?
All right. Well, let's see. We just got a minute or two left. There was another story that I know
I
you
have
wanted.
an update.
Yeah, what's going on with speed limits and boaters?
Right.
And boaters.
Exactly. So we covered this last year about the speed rules that went into effect. Originally, they were put into effect in 2008, and I think they phased them in, but it's along the east coast of the U.S., from Florida up through the Carolinas, and there was a speed limit of 10 knots at certain times of the year on a pretty large section of offshore water.
And the reason was to protect the whales.
The right way,
So
right
they said,
whales,
yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they've determined that maybe they overstepped. So they're initiating.
Wait. The government overstepped? Get out.
I know it's hard to believe. They never do that, right? But it's possible they did.
Yeah.
And cooler heads are prevailing, and they're starting to look at, because it was a blanket order, anything over 65 feet couldn't go over 10 knots. And it, just on the face of it is not practical.
Yeah.
You can hardly maneuver a ship, for instance, at 10 knots, especially when you consider that, you're crossing the Gulf Stream at that point, which is moving at 4 to 5 knots. So how do you compensate for all these things that you have to do to maneuver your boat?
Yeah.
Not to mention, sport fishing, getting out to the fishing grounds and back in a reasonable amount of time. You have to do that at 20 knots. You can't do that at 10.
Yeah. So the overreach is being recalled a little bit, and they're re-looking at it, and hopefully they'll make some modifications. That's it.
More to come on that subject.
More to come. All right. We're monitoring it accordingly here at the World of Boating, like we've been doing for the last 22 years. Why stop now? On that note, we'll wrap it up. Remember, whether it's sail or motor,
life is better as a boater.
Safe boating, everyone.
Come back here, you barnacle-bitten swab!
World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.